Emotions running very high for Bernie Sanders supporters after his big win in New Hampshire, which, with the consideration of pledged superdelegates, doesn't really appear to have been a win, but that's sort of a topic for a different moment. Let's look forward to the next two primaries for the Democrats, which are the Nevada caucus on February 20th, and then we have the South Carolina caucus, or primary rather, on February 27th. So let's look at what the polls are saying about those two races. In Nevada, the most recent data we have, which is actually not very recent, has Hillary Clinton up by nearly 20 percentage points on Bernie Sanders. And in South Carolina, where we do have more recent data, Hillary Clinton appears to be up by nearly 30 points. And this is just sort of a reality, Lewis. I mean, as I said, the data from South Carolina is much more recent than from Nevada, where we haven't had a new poll in over a month. So things could have shifted there, but we know that in states with higher non-white populations, Bernie Sanders tends to do not as well. We don't yet know the impact of the momentum of his New Hampshire win, at least with regard to the vote, the popular vote in New Hampshire, if not these super delegates. But there is a big uphill battle. This is just a reality, and I know that momentum can be a really big thing. We have a few days here, a week, to get a sense of how big that momentum is before we get to that next vote.
Yeah, I know. Look what happened in Iowa, though, right? Bernie
Overperformed.
Overperformed, and leading up to the primary, the caucus, his lead just kept growing. Well, not lead. He just kept growing and growing and picking up more momentum.
Right.
New Hampshire, I guess we knew that was going to happen, but he even overperformed there. And so I guess a lot can happen.
Bernie Sanders has overperformed the polls going into both of the elections that we have had so far in Iowa and in New Hampshire. We had that recent poll last week in South Carolina, which showed Bernie Sanders cutting Hillary Clinton's lead in half. But then we had an even more recent poll, which shows the race is really an uphill battle for Bernie Sanders right now. Very, very different demographics. And now we're seeing the Congressional Black Caucus come out. They said they are supporting Hillary Clinton instead of Bernie Sanders. We're going to talk about that on an upcoming program. And we're starting to see the racial political groups start to draw lines in the sand. Both candidates touting their credentials on race-related matters and issues of importance to minorities. I think that it is going to be a real tough sell for Bernie Sanders in South Carolina. I know that momentum may bring him closer. I know he may well overperform the polls, but this is still a big deficit. I mean, the numbers are the numbers, Lewis.
Yeah, we kind of knew the numbers were going to look like this. I don't like it any more than you do, Dave.